All right, thank you, Toronto. It is time for another game here on the main stage. The eliminations have not stopped, but have the upsets? That's the question we will now have to ask. Anything can happen today. But before we find out, we have to meet our teams. First up, let's meet LAG.
All shadows, ground team is mobile. Keep them covered.
Eyes watching for the opposition, how they crushing any competition. Long range, yeah, I got the vision. When I'm in the trenches, anyone can get me. I'm with the team when they need me, or out on a dolo mission. They get rocky riding on this road to riches. If I catch you slipping, then it's over finished. War, ready, crew, coming through heavy. Aim steady, lights out, it's the gorillas. Not any winner, one out of many. Five talents, empty, lights out, it's the gorillas.
Please welcome to the stage your LA Guerrillas. Assault, Exceed, Arsenes, and Joe the Thieves.
London and Florida have shown them that anything is possible. Will they feed into the narrative and cause another upset? LAG certainly can do it. There's 2 world champions on that stage and 2 rookies trying to show the world why they deserve to be on that stage. We'll see if they can cause a massive upset against a major champion. It's time to bring out New York.
All right, thank you very much. Well, we have met our Davids. It's time to meet our Goliaths. Here are the New York Subliners. All right, Toronto, it's time. Please say hello to the New York Subliners. HyDra, Skyz, KiSMET, and Priestahh.
What should be a walk in the park for the New York Subliners, they found themselves at Elimination round 1 after a tough game number 5 yesterday against Toronto, but they look cool, calm, collected, and Skyz is ready for a ball. The run starts here. They already qualified for champs, and now it's just about making the run to try and get a second chip for this year. I'm ready to get this match started.
All right, well, lightning has already struck twice at the major. Upsets are abound. Will it happen a third? There's only one way to find out. Let's hand this over to our casters for this one. It's Lando and Study.
Thank you so much, Bryce. Yes, indeed, buddy. I mean, we have seen some wild upsets so far. This one, though, it's a hard sell, right, Jay? Yeah. Considering, I mean, what the streak of losses is right now for LAG, and also considering what we saw from New York, including many of our casters, under the assumption New York, they should have won that game yesterday versus
Yeah, New York definitely should have won that game yesterday. You're talking about that control. That was the thing that you had to focus on. You were up 24-12 in lives remaining. There was only 30 seconds left. They only had like 1 or 2 more good pushes. Like the Des touched on it, 1 or 2 kills go New York's way. They were able to close it out in 4. We'd be singing a different tune. But now it's scary for LAG because now you're going up against the NYSL roster who are definitely pissed off after losing that series yesterday. And for LAG, they haven't really been able to find any success as a recent.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I think they are 1 in 12 in their last 13 series.
Damn.
But as we've talked about it, as we have said so far throughout the Toronto Major, it feels like anything is possible. As odd as that is to say, that has really been the storyline so far here in Toronto. Anything is possible. Can LAG quite literally pull off the impossible? We will have to find out. And Jay, for our first map, at least it is a good one historically for the Guerrillas. They get that Embassy hardpoint that they have loved really throughout the entirety of the year.
Yeah, you got to be feeling good. You're getting your best hard point, but not that good because you played New York on these same exact maps.
Yeah.
A week ago in New York, we're able to beat them 3-0 pretty easily. So going into this map number 1, all it simply does come down to, when you got a chance to look back at the VOD, was just the rotation win percentage from New York to LAG. New York, they started with great time at P2, changed it to the P3, and then at the P4, they got the initial 30 seconds. When you have that much of a lead on a map like Embassy, it's all about keeping the rest of the hills scrappy. And when that's what New York were able to do the last time around. So can they repeat it here to potentially go up 1-0?
Yeah, it feels like if you're New York, right, you have the confidence. Hey, we just beat this very team on these 3 first maps that we're about to play. On the flip side for LAG, I mean, maybe I'm just trying to be a beacon for positivity, Jay, but I mean, if you're LAG, you can go back, watch the VOD, figure out the mistakes, and try to learn from them here.
Yeah, and you can already see they're already adjusting because the last time they played New York, the ARs were getting shut down.
Yeah.
A 0.6 out of Assault and a 0.5 out of Arcties. They're already starting off better. We know that the P1 is going to be scrappy. Neither team is going to fight for a majority of these times. They're more focused on finding the kills and flipping those spawns. And with New York finding the clean 4 dead, they are on the preferred side going into the next hill.
Yep, they will be indeed. We'll see how long that can last. Final 10 seconds of scrap. Going to go the way of NYSL. LAG ready, focused, and now looking toward the front as Priestahh and HyDra able to put away for a few. In the meantime, it's actually a big fight for the right side, top right side of your screen. Player 3 wins that. We actually do have an unfortunate team nade to kick off this team battle, so the load a little bit lightened here for the boys of the Guerrillas.
Yeah, Subliners just helped them out tremendously off that rotation. Big team naded, and Priestahh also losing that one-on-one forward street control. So now LAG set themselves up to get some much-needed time at the P2. Assault's not missing shots. He finds himself on a 4 streak, cannot find the kill on the KiSMET. But your AR duo in Arcties finds that trade, and it's still the Guerrillas on that time.
It feels like you're already starting to notice the pace coming in from LAG. Exceed flying, and right now flying at 4-4. He is definitely one of the players who is very impactful. We know the confidence and the passion that this guy can provide to a team like this, and well, right now they need it. A quick 3 down, and now he is the only player now in position. He falls away, and from there, now it is all about this rotation over toward ACs, and that is a big double coming in from Arcties.
Yeah, Arcties gets 1, and Jodeci's is there for the 2nd. So they take control of bottom orange. They win that rotation over towards top AC, but Arcties is still the sole man up here. He's waiting for a trophy to get put down. Jodeci is eventually able to hop on the point, but you cannot allow HyDra to make this play. He's going for that flank up the ladder. He cannot find one. Jodeci with the perfect read.
They got a little bit dicey there for a moment. I thought LAG were not going to check that ladder. They eventually do. Cut away HyDra, and that is sweat off the brow. At least for, what, maybe 5 seconds till he's right back in your face, but you will take it. Right now, if you're Guerrillas, another trade that for the moment does favor them, but New York having a few arrows nearby, they're continuing to win these fights. It takes a long time, but NYSL eventually are there for the break. 20 seconds is what they will earn, and now we're looking toward offense, and you've got everybody from LAG here outside of Jodeci.
Yeah, you got everybody from LAG off the rotation, but you cannot lose these gunfights because then you spawn all the way across the map. HyDra's already setting up the pinch. KiSMET from the front end. They find the initial 2, so at least you do have a couple players still in the fight. But the last player here is going to be Jodeci. More players here from the Subliners, but they can't find the trade. Joe's doing it all.
How great has he been, especially throughout our qualifiers? I mean, he's been able to talk so much at length with the desk, touching on how, hey, you know what, we're fighting for our spot, we're fighting for cash, we're doing everything that we can. He has had some great moments, and right there, that is absolutely netted LAG a decent advantages. Now here comes attempt number 2 from New York at a break.
Sending 2 players through the street side, 1 player through back single door. So it's all about who starts off in the trades. HyDra finds the first. Jodeci still taking players down. But it's New York finding the break for the final 25. You still have to see going on that deep flank, so they don't want to get this one up for free because you know your teammates have that rotation over towards Kitchen as New York with more bodies win those final gunfights, and they're going to be able to take the final 15.
This was especially a hard point that when these teams faced off in our Major 5 qualifiers, New York looked very, very good on this upcoming P5 here at Kitchen. We'll see, as we said, if LAG can adapt and start to learn. It is currently a tie game as we head to the final hard point of the first set of rotations. It is New York winning those crucial battles early, and so far looking at the scoreboard, really nobody overall that sensational. It's HyDra with majority of the engagements, but only +1. Guerrillas hanging with them.
Yeah, Guerrillas are fighting right now. Currently down by 15 points. You just got to find an entryway in towards the kitchen. Jodeci finds the first, but they got to take down the SMG, who is still causing problems in towards red. HyDra finds 3, KiSMET with the 4th, and New York, they hold down the line for that first push. Final 30 seconds. If they can get this, you're just thinking about keeping the rest of the game scrappy because you have a nice little comfortable lead.
Like I said, this is, I mean, it literally looks exactly like how the Major 5 qualifier went, right? Whenever you get HyDra and KiSMET in these small spaces, well, sometimes they can die from nades, but if you got that FaZe in their hands, they're going to light you up. LAG, they finally come away with the break, but it's only for 10 seconds as we reset. It is NYSL with the slim advantage. Jay, I mean, is this what you wanted to see from LAG? Is it a little bit lower than what you expected? What would you give them in terms of a grade so far?
I feel like they've been doing a lot better off the rotation. We're talking about getting early over towards the P3, got some additional time, and at least kept it scrappy. And then you start off at that P4 with Jodeci's finding like 5-6 kills in a row. So that eventually is what leads them to getting back into this game. But into the second rotation we go. You just have to trade more efficient. You cannot lose these 2v1 gunfights versus HyDra. You have to make sure you're setting up your teammates properly for these next hill and getting those trophies down.
Yep, all eyes to the bottom side of the map as P1 oftentimes not going to away with, or rather not going to walk away with all that many seconds. There was like a recent stat that came out talking about how P1 on aBeZy, one of the more difficult hardpoints in COD history to grab time on. And so far, both teams pretty much avoiding it like the plague, and understandably so. So valuable is parking lot as now we prepare for it. It's New York currently with numbers.
And at this time around, it's going to be New York with street control. The Guerrillas, they're spawning in towards bottom PD. They're going to be able to retake that positioning. But it's all about taking down Priestahh. Throwing a couple snakes, playing his life beautifully for his teammates to eventually get into play. He can just get the job done himself. Street control in favor of the Subliners, and now they're getting the time.
How great has P-Dog been, especially in some recent dubs for this team, does eventually fall off of the spree. So the defensive line now a little bit bruised, a tad battered. Really, it's a race to walk away with these final 35 seconds. You need this bad. If you're LAG, it's Jodeci on one side. Meanwhile, it's the rest of the squad mates on the other. They are erased, evaporated as New York begin to advance this lead that much more. 145-89. Guerrillas, you got 2 players getting ready to contest for late. They're also trying to think about new. This lead starts to get scary, especially if this fight goes Skyz way. There it is.
And finally, New York, they're able to take them off of that remaining time. And I thought it was going to be a scary situation because when you lose those initial 2 fights, you don't get that remaining junk time. You're now in a man disadvantage off the rotation. So there's only 2 players sitting towards top AC, 3 players from the Subliners trying to apply the pressure. Tags have to be thrown. You got to get these trophy systems out of the way. But so far, the Guerrillas, there's no sweat. They're holding down this power position. They're getting some much-needed time at the top AC. Still a 50-point game.
You get some high fives going on, but it's HyDra who makes his way in toward the back. He's come up the ladder.
Yeah, he did.
3. This was the same situation the last time around. However, they were able to read him. Joe doing everything he can to try to keep this push alive, but this is where the game could really start to be decided. Nades everywhere. Utility continues to fly. As LAG do give away a few points, they at least grab the scrap. And as we rotate, let's go ahead and step aside and go to the comms of the Gorilla Boys.
That's one. That's one. Yeah, he went to top of us. Adam, I can go top right there. We chill out off. I'm working 2. He went to dub. Turn time, go. He went to 2 weeks. Spawn everything. I think top dub. I'm top. I'm top office. I'm top office. I got it. He's on the desk more time. What's ID? That's more desk. I'm sending. I'm doggy 2. Cheers, doggy. Watch out. I can't jump. I got your hold. That's one. I'll pitch your hold 100% or H2. I got H1. I'm going back and forth. H1. He just said H1. I'm on solo. Yeah, I'm on solo. Fucking shit. Adam, I'm about to bump up like for now. Yep, I got back. No, I'm P1. Did they spawn the back on me? No. They could have. There's one P1. I got H1. They just went new. There's a guy back in C, back in C. I'm not sure. He's back. Nice, good job. One shot. But look at Kids. I left over spot someone. Okay, got you. Thomas C. Thomas C. Thomas C. Yeah, two of them spawning.
What's top?
I'm on streaks.
One's gonna be gas.
From red. He will launch it. I'm dead. He got me. Caesar got streak. Alright, I didn't get my streak, sorry. Absolutely, good job.
Nice, press is orange.
He just got charged.
One got gas killed me.
That's one orange. I blocked orange. Okay.
Well, he's left corner hill.
He's still bottom orange. Back to Z. Oh, top of C.
Well, how about that check-in there with the Guerrillas? A great balance of, I mean, overall comms. I think when it comes into hype moments, they've had a fair few deaths from time to time. Jay, is it fair to say that might have been the cleanest list that we've heard with the Guerrillas all season long?
Yeah, the communication is clean right there from the Guerrillas. And when you have that much great communication, that's what leads yourself to get back into the game with a flawless P4 hold. It's now only a 10-point difference, but the Subliners still in control of Kitchen. Final 10 seconds, but Priestahh with the beams out of the Vazdevs, able to take down Assault from that position. At least right now, with only 5 seconds remaining on Kitchen, Subliners are on the preferred side. But we're back to the P1. How scrappy can it be?
Yeah, this is really going to be the balance for the Guerrillas, right? You want to try to walk away with P1 time. You're also trying to get them away from that backside parking lot spawn. A lot to handle and a lot to deal with. But as we said, the comms seem strong enough to be able to handle it. But is the gunny going to be there? That is a lovely and perfectly timed triple coming in from NYSL. 40 points left.
And now Subliners are set up for this flawlessly to get some really good time off of this P1 hardpoint. They can no longer win it here. They are controlling the spawns. You have top paper control. You have bottom PD. You're holding down top AC as well. So all power positions are now in favor of the Subliners. But with only 20 seconds left, you have to be thinking about that next hill. And already the Guerrillas have 2 players spawn over towards the street. Arshades being the route man, the anchor for the Guerrillas to try to get him back into this game.
Yeah, Alec just won a huge 1v1. They get some nice spawns, and he also is able to have a few reinforcements joined alongside of him. So it's currently New York with the overall advantage in the game, but right now it is LAG with preferred positioning. But this team fight is going to tell us everything. The opportunity for LAG to come back and the chance for New York to close it out.
And look at the route that KiSMET's going to be able to hit. He goes to that flank onto the street. He gets the timing onto Assault, but he doesn't commit towards that side of the map. He's trying to regroup with your teammates, contest from the middle. And that's exactly what New York are going to do. Contest from this side. Try to keep LAG from getting much needed time off of this P2. 200 to 224. Both of these squads are fighting.
And New York just ran 3 players straight through the middle lane. There was nobody from LAG watching what is without a doubt the most prominent point of view in this hard point. New York have the chance to win it here. LAG beginning to scramble as P-Dog going on another spree. That's 3 in a row just before he falls. Guerrillas still hanging in there, but Jay, that hard point needed to go much better than that.
And now it's only about the rotation. And that's going to be Subliners winning those initial fights. HyDra's able to dip and dodge, get away with his life, puts himself in a greater position, and is able to win the fight. So it's only 11 seconds until Subliners take game 1.
LAG needs something special. Arshades finally is able to find that kill onto HyDra. It's been such a problem over on the ladder. KiSMET, a chance to put the final nail in the coffin. Yet to see it. Exceed and Joe Thieves, they find a few, and with that, Guerrillas maintain control for the moment.
Guerrillas are in full control of top AC, but at least if you're the Subliners, you're setting up the team push to use these tacks to find an angle. Priestahh with the nade, Priestahh with the gunny is able to find the initial 2. So right now the Guerrillas do not have the numbers. You have to get off the point. You have to play to hold down this orange control. And there's only 25 seconds on the game clock. That might come into play.
Oh my God, another thing you have to think about. If you're LAG, you've got so many enemies on the map, but right now if you're New York, you can just dance around the hard point. Only 5 seconds left. Not gonna happen. Are they going to go for the last second contest? It looks like they will.
Wait a minute.
New York sending 2 players here. Meanwhile, it's a rotation. They've won the gunfight. One last player has to dive in, but it's not going to matter. NYSL hold on to a very scrappy Embassy hardpoint. LAG gave it a solid fight, but it was New York, the way that they started off this game, that just netted them so much control in the later stages. You got quite a few New York fans out there, Jay. Some woof woofs for P-Dog and Bulldog. Love that.
It's a good first map, though, for the Subliners. You set the tone nice and early. Completely forget about that loss yesterday to the Ultra. When you start off on your first rotation on hard points, up by 60, great holds every single time around that kitchen hill. I think that was the turning point. It was the Subliners winning the rotation right off the rip. They get a full 60 the first go around. The second time, it was the Guerrillas who had more bodies in that situation, but instantly the break comes in from the Subliners. Without that kitchen hill, they probably lose this map. But when you hold down that one, which is a money hill in the game, they're able to close out this map number 1. Now go up 1-0 in the series.
And it's almost like not surprising at the same time to say that like New York should be a team that can thrive on kitchen, right? Because they have 4 players who at one point in their career have run a sub. Like Skyz has been able to do that. Priestahh early on, like we all remember how nasty he was with the SOG back in Black Ops 4. You've got a full 4-man lineup that really knows what it's like to be in those close quarter engagements.
And that's good because you get the versatility out of every single player. You're not nervous in a situation. You pick up a aBeZy off the floor, you still have the ability to look probably not as good as HyDra, but pretty close.
It's difficult to do that.
So now if you are the Subliners, you're up 1-0 in this series. You're going into a search and destroy where you played them on that same exact map on the hotel. So you gotta be feeling good. But if you're the Guerrillas, they came out in fault in this map number 1. They were actually using a lot of teamwork. It's not like someone went drastically negative. Thieves was playing great. RC's off the rotation. They were doing all the fundamental things right. It just came down to a couple key gunfights that went in favor of the Subliners, which eventually leads to them taking map number 1. But in this map number 2, this is where the Guerrillas have to respond.
Well, I was going to say, kind of adding on to your point there, like, I'm actually very glad that we went to a listening with LAG because it was great to hear. Like, if we would have went to a listening with New York, we would have been like, okay, great comms, they look solid, but we wouldn't really have known the spirit, I guess, that you have behind LAG. I feel like that listening looked great. It almost kind of gave me confidence throughout the remainder of this series to say that, yeah, they have a chance maybe to win a map, maybe even to send it the distance. Obviously, that would be a very tall task, but how can they even up this one? Moving into the Search Destroy, as you called it, our first 3 maps, ones that we saw these 2 teams play just a week ago. What are some things that LAG need to improve on this go around?
Well, LAG, they're the worst team on the defensive side. On a map like Hotel, where it's usually easy to shut down these bomb plants towards either side, they are the worst. And also, they are also terrible when they get first flooded. In 3v4 situations on their defensive side, they only have a 14% chance at winning it. They also allow the most bomb plants on their side, and then you're going up against the Subliners, who are the team that gets the bomb down the most. So it has to be all on the defensive side. LAG just gotta not let the bomb go down and not lose that initial fight.
All right, we got a tall list of things that LAG are going to have to improve on. I mean, until we have some S&D statistics, I think the look for the Guerrillas, yeah, this is so far throughout Major 5, and that is really not what you want to see being a Guerrilla fan, somebody who maybe is from LA, considering that, hey, we just lost a Hardpoint. Maybe we can answer back and Search and Destroy. That record says that's probably not going to be the case.
Yeah, the record's sitting at 1-5, but a majority of their losses all throughout Stage 5 are sitting around like 6-3, 6-4. So it's just a couple things that don't go their way.
Yeah.
And the majority of that just comes down to that first blood battle. We know what these guys are capable of. Right now, Thieves, he's playing with the utmost confidence in that SMG. Dead! I need to hear that a lot throughout this Search and Destroy, try to bring the Guerrillas back.
Yeah, we'll see if they're able to do it. I mean, we talked about, right, from the very start when this Guerrillas roster formed back in Major 2, right, they do not have the start that they want. I think it was a top 16 finish in Raleigh. They bring in the challenger players, LAG Academy around this guy. They were electric in Hardpoint. That started to fall off, and, well, they began to adapt, Jay. They started to get better in Search Destroy. They started to figure out things in Control. And then from that moment forward, it feels like it's been a mixed bag. This team not been able to consistently win really any mode.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that hurt this Guerrillas roster is when Fortress Control got eliminated. And they were forced to play a lot of Expo because that was their best Control map. They are abysmal in that mode. Without getting W's there, they're like 50-50 in the hard points, and the S&D are not the best. So just gotta figure it out here.
Absolutely. And now we're talking about the New York Subliners, and this is gotta be a welcome sight, right? This has been a team that at times Search Destroy has not been great for them, especially in a LAN environment. I know that first loss just came in the Game 5, lost yesterday versus Ultra, but overall, much better across the board. We're talking like, what, barely at 40% on offense and defense for LAG. You are well above 60% in both offense and defense. The team KD looks great. All signs looking like a New York W, especially with HyDra on the map lately.
Yeah, that guy's unreal. What is he, like #1 in first blood?
Yeah, it's
opening
absurd.
dual win percentage, #1 S&D KD. What is he on defense as well, like a 2.0? HyDra's just a guy that you have to put a lot of focus on. So I'm looking at the player who was really heating up for the Guerrillas in Thieves to be the guy to try to shut down HyDra or at least slow him down.
We'll see if that's possible. I mean, you're talking to Joe Thieves, and you're like, listen, buddy, we need you to do something mildly impossible. I mean, it's never going to be easy to at least slow down HyDra. I mean, I feel like at the very least, with the form that he's been on, if he just finishes with like 9-10 kills, you kind of take that as a dub. So with that in mind, we will see how the early rounds begin to play out. New York up 1-0, and they will start things off on the attacking side. A team that loves to plant that bomb down. We'll see if they can do it, or if LG can thwart the plan.
And look what HyDra already does. He finds himself from a great position towards Couch. So now he's getting that info that the Guerrillas are not watching this cross from the middle side of the map. Now he has the ability, no dead silence still to work with. Just in a great position to break the setup right now for the Guerrillas. His teammates are slowly rotating back over towards the A site. And there's 3 players from the Guerrillas potentially watching that cross to not allow that plant to go down easy.
Yeah, that is, like as you said, partner, I mean, that is a wonderful angle that HyDra has to hold on to. Skyz looking for just the right angle to go for the plant. Is he going to be able to get away with it unscathed? Great cover fire coming in from the squad mates. LAG are aware of the plant, however, they cannot stop it. 4v4 retake.
That's an insane movement right there out of Skyz. Like, Arcades gets the angle to shoot his head off. He just goes, no, I'm going to crouch and then prone so I can get this bomb planted for my team, use myself as bait. And eventually the Subliners find all 4 kills in the round. You get the bomb down. Guerrillas are one of the worst retaking teams on Hotel S&D. And that leads to the Subliners taking the first.
And that is a scary sight, right? To know that HyDra only gets away with 1 kill, but he really is the tone setter at the start of the round. What does he do? Finds the lane, finds the little angle in the setup that ends up causing all kinds of chaos on the Guerrillas' end. But as you called it, my friend, Skyz, great movement just to hop behind the desk. He ends up coming away, I believe, with only 1 kill. Get some assistance on the other, but excellent job across the board from NYSL as they will now take a look at defense. LAG, their first opportunity now on the attacking side as they will send 3 strong through the restaurant. And it is Arcades actually carrying the bomb in our opener.
Yeah, and this is a complete blind counter. You see the Subliners, they set up for that aggressive A push. You had HyDra roaming through the middle of the map. He does invest that dead silence. Does he try to take more ground? So all the information is now going to be gained. The pressure's going to be in towards the kitchen. HyDra setting up for that deep flank. It's on Priestahh to at least hold down this angle or try to find one.
Well, another 4v4 retake. We'll see. Now if New York can manage to do it. LAG unsuccessful in our opener. Wonderful way to start it off. KiSMET, another kill. Making a first blood. HyDra goes low, and it's 2 freebies there for P-Dog. New York, an absolute assassination going down here in the kitchen. LAG stood no chance.
Yeah, they stood no chance right there. You get the bomb down, you're holding down all these angles. But once KiSMET finds that initial first kill to the middle of the map, HyDra with the timing, the one-on-one versus Arcades, and then Priestahh, his job is just to stay alive towards the backside of the kitchen, allow for his teammates to get into the play, and when the time they get there, he finds the final 2. Subliners haven't died yet. That's literally 8 kills in a row, 2 rounds. Subliners up.
They were doing the salsa dance inside of the kitchen.
Yeah.
I love that. Kitchen's the best place to dance. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Oh,
I thought it was a dance floor, but you know.
I mean, I'd be dancing too if I was Priestahh. Literally just open a door, find 2 quick kills. 2 guys like slugs on the ground. Absolutely. New York feeling great. We'll see if they can dance their way to a 3rd round. Maybe a bit of a conga line into one of the bomb sites. And unfortunately, the conga line has been broken. Priestahh got to grab that bomb a little earlier, my friend. Instantly spots the shadow of 1 onto LAG. And from there, the Guerrillas will actually look to group up. Maybe go for a flank inside of the restaurant. KiSMET surely not going to be ready for this. So LAG countered early, but they turned it into a first blood regardless.
Yeah, the SMG duo just tried to be the aggressive up through the middle of the map. They spot HyDra. They spot Priestahh. Then they eventually get that first blood onto KiSMET. So now it's a 2v4 situation. HyDra's dead silence is about to run out. Skyz takes down 1. HyDra finds a second, so it was just a 4v2. Is now a 2v2, but the Subliners, that bomb is still going to be down over towards A.
Just up to the Val Pals. Assault does, in fact, spot HyDra there on the cross. So a little bit of information to work with. Actually not tagged up as much as it looked like. Exceed just ran past Mr. Skyz toward the bottom. He is not going to have that call up prepared. Therefore, Assault. In the meantime, it is Skyz able to come away with another. Is this about to be a 2v4 clutch? As it's now all on to Adam Garcia. And he is 1 player just toward his left, Jay.
Just gonna try to get this bomb down, at least find his timing. Skyz is able to stay alive again.
Trophy down.
The dance moves, the trophy is down. So the bomb is gonna get planted. Assault with the repositioning. But no players from Subliners in sight. 40 seconds.
Oh, and he gets shut down. It's a 2v4 here in round number 3. You see the smirk coming in from Paco. He knows that they just got gifted that round. Skyz and HyDra, wonderful work together. And I tell you what, man, that is such an unfortunate spot for Assault. Like, he's ready, tosses out the nade, trophies down, tags up a few into Skyz, but cannot take him down. He was the king of clutch last time these teams played on Hotel Search Destroy, but not this go around. Make it 3-0 now for New York.
Yeah, it shouldn't come down to that, though. If you're the Guerrillas in a 4v2, play for the 2v1 or at least 3v1 trade so you're able to trade efficiently, not multiple one-on-one gunfights, because none of them went their way, and now the Subliners are cruising in this search and destroy. Skyz thinks he gets the kill, but he does not, and it leads to Exceed finding another first blood onto HyDra. LAG with the main advantage.
Oh, he tries to bank the nade, as well as the utility off the brick wall. Backboard is your best friend, but unfortunately for him, he drops another 2v4 situation for New York, and that is the best way to start it off. Joe Deceives running right into an area where his teammates have not covered yet. You are not out of this round by any means if you're LAG.
Definitely not out, but at least you have Exceed taking a lot of ground over towards this B point. And I don't know if KiSMET gets that info. He has that dead silence, so he's able to come up right behind him. And now another 2v2 situation. With only 30 seconds left, the Guerrillas have to get this bomb down, so it should be a free bomb plant. But now it's a 2v2 with 40 seconds on the clock.
But it shouldn't even be at this point. Why do we have 2 players solo chowing where nobody else is? I don't know. LAG, please clutch up this round, or I may do something wild. I may throw up here in the caster booth. You don't want to see that, Jay.
No, yeah, I definitely don't want to see that. So this is a round that the Guerrillas have to clutch up on with only 20 seconds left. You do get that information of Assault being hit behind enemy lines, but they go for the double chow. They take him down. Now it's all on Arcitys the vet.
Alec, it's all up to you. Oh, my word, please. Oh, he lights him up. That's all it takes. That is all it takes for LAG to finally put one up on the board. My stomach is settled, and Arcitys, excellent work there from the captain. As this go around, thankfully, it is not another 2v4 loss. He comes away, in fact, with the 1v2. First round for LAG.
Much needed round at that. To now keep themselves alive in this search and destroy. Get some confidence off of that one round. But now you're back on your defense. Subliners, they've been able to plant the bomb 2 times now, with Skyz hitting some insane movement to get out with his life. This time they're going to be able to show the 2-2 split. They're going to play for that early information as Guerrillas trying to play through mid-map.
LAG trying to do pretty much what they did in one of the opening rounds. They were able to walk away with the first blood. They flanked through Restaurant. This time, though, not going to be the case. They go straight through Shandy and right into the base of New York. Exceed, well timed, cuts away Skyz. Another first blood here for Guerrillas. Can they continue to capitalize? And that is also going to be bomb down. So huge positive if you're LAG. Hang out in the corner. And this round should belong to you, but still plenty of time to play with.
Yeah, that's all you need to do. Exceed gets the info, bomb being down towards back spa. Time is starting to tick. You know the Subliners have to pick it up. So just play your tight corners. Make these kills a lot more difficult, and Arcitys starts it off. Big kill onto Priestahh, 3v2 with 30 seconds.
Only problem, though, HyDra still alive. Daddy popped for both he and Kiz in this very clutch situation. HyDra spotting one on the desk, and with the bomb being down, he has to imagine that Exceed's going to be back here, not able to take it. This time, it is Exceed who walks away with it. KiSMET last man up. And it's LAG putting something together back-to-back now.
Yeah, those are proper adjustments right there out of the Guerrillas. They send multiple players to the middle of the map, only one player over towards bedroom. No hesitation, though. Push right through Shandy. Find the first blood onto Skyz, gets the info. The bomb is going to be down, so you play your corners, you play it tight. Eventually, they clutch up on the round. 2 in a row now for the Guerrillas, down 3-2.
This would mean a lot for the Guerrillas in terms of confidence. As we said, they lose that opening embassy. Search Destroy has not been great for them. A few rounds that it feels like they have thrown away. They are 2-10 in their last 12 Search and Destroys, and right now trying to take it versus New York. In our lower bracket, loser goes home top 12. Try to build some momentum, maybe find a third round in a row, and that is the best way to start it off. Another first blood from LAG, and another one found from a rookie. Great work there from Joe. Poppin' Daddy knows the right play to make. And from there, it's actually a huge square up on the top side of the map. aBeZy totally out of the play. He will drop, and from there, now it's a 2v3.
It's a 2v3. With some unnecessary challenges coming in, all up to Joe. What can the rookie get done? Great shots onto HyDra, but he's not able to win it. And that's just another situation where the Guerrillas, you get the first blood, just play for the trade. There's no reason why aBeZy should be all the way at Shandy, all the way towards Jules' side, even though you know that a player from the Subliners is going to commit towards that flank. Just put yourself in a better position because no one is there to trade. And then once you lose that gunfight, your teammate also drops. And those are just little mistakes that just can't happen. If you're the Guerrillas, you have your man advantage, play closer, and to play the trade.
Yeah, I mean, it's another situation where you get a first blood, like, just hang out. Like, it's almost like you have two players who are obviously very talented, but almost trying to do the exact same thing. It's like, listen, we need one player to make this play. We don't need two at the exact same time, and I don't know, maybe it's even something in the communication where it's like, listen, we got a first blood. We need somebody in the comms to say, all right, first blood found, 4v3, let's hang back. I don't know if it's something communication-wise, if it's just over-aggression and it's just not being discussed. I'm not exactly sure, but a frustrating start to the search and destroy. Many that it feels like should be going Guerrillas' direction. As the sniper will be brought out here in round number 7. aBeZy hanging out in luggage. Yet to strike.
And this is how you get aBeZy to slow down. Put away the Vaznev and let's pick up the boomstick. So he's just going to be playing towards this bottom luggage alley. Keep Skyz at bay.
Ooh!
The first blood does come in, but the trade is going to be there. So it's still a 3v3. KiSMET with the movement, able to get out with his life. And now it's going to be 3 players from the Subliners conga lining in towards the kitchen.
It's been a great search and destroy so far from Matthew Tinsley. Now at 8-3, as you said, he will help lead the push as well as the comms. Into the kitchen we go. Arcedy's first one here. Tosses out a nade, says a prayer. Waiting for the cavalry to arrive because he will not be there to join them. Time continues to tick. Bomb still yet to get planted. Skyz with a bit of adversity from the front side. Has to wait, has to hesitate. LAG on the outskirts, looking for some tags through the walls, yet to find anything.
Yet to find anything, and Skyz is still able to plant that bomb. Snaking to the best of his ability with the trophy. Don't know how that tack is able to connect, but he's at least able to go for the trade. Skyz lays prone on his belly. Even though his teammate does fall, he is there to find the final 2 kills on the round. Subliners just a lot quicker on their mid-round adjustments, their mid-round play calling. And that's what's been the answer in this game. Subliners now at game point.
Yeah, just great coordination there for New York, right? In the middle of that round, I think it's KiSMET who's basically the one communicating to the rest of the roster. You saw it in the player cam. He's like, okay, we're going to head in the kitchen. They're able to strike. They find Arcedy's off the rip, and from there, Guerrillas not strong enough to go for the retake. As you said, buddy, 5 rounds to 2, 1 round away from New York, going up 2-0 in this series. Feels like confidence starting to be lost in that bullet. I don't know where it went. I feel like that had Arcedy's name written all over it. Mr. Sanderson stays alive at least for another moment, and it's KiSMET this time who strikes. That bullet connects.
Another first blood for the Subliners. HyDra finds the second, but this time LAG, they're able to equalize. They make it a 2v2, make it a 2v1, and now it's Skyz left in a 1v2 with the sniper in hand.
He has been the all-star versus LAG throughout this season, posting a 1.6 overall versus this franchise in their prior 3 encounters, and now can he put him away in a 1v2 to go up 2-0. Because they desperately needs to find a gun off the ground. You'll take attack, especially over that pistol, but a lot of damage to do, Jay.
And this is a round you can't let go if you're the Guerrillas. You got both your SMGs alive. They're in towards the kitchen. Multiple different angles you can snake. Can't give this one up to Skyz. That dead silence is about to run out. He still has that sniper. Can he find an angle?
Oh, snaking his heart out as aBeZy tries to go for the angle, and it's no bueno there for Mr. Caesar. Not able to come away with something special in the 1v2. LAG holding on, but just by a little.
Yeah, the Guerrillas were in the fight that round. There wasn't 2 players being island guys. They said the gunfights are going to go down through the middle of the map. We will be here to assist, and they come out on top in that trade scenario. Now stay alive in this search and destroy. Now down 5-3. Back on the defensive side they go. I think the biggest thing they can do right now is just to play for that mid-map control. Play to watch that cross over towards the A side from mid, 4 stack towards the middle map so you're able to trade efficiently.
So if they'll be able to do it, New York, we're about to watch a very fast, aggressive play over inside at A. I'm not sure if Arshty's actually spotted player 5 and HyDra already up in the base. If he did, Assault was not ready for it regardless. Bomb instantly planted. Arshty's in the meantime at least able to come away with one, but he's got HyDra at his feet. Great work there from Paco, as now it is a quick 2v1 advantage. This map all sits on the shoulders of Exceed.
30 seconds. Exceed versus the SMGs on the side of the Subliners. Time is starting to tick. KiSMET and HyDra aren't giving up anything, but he should be able to get the free first kill. No, he actually throws a nade, and KiSMET is able to get out with his life. There's no way Exceed wins this round now.
There's surely no way. There's surely no way. Oh, New York end up grabbing the final round, and we'll go up 2-0. Unfortunate timing and a misclick on the controller. There, if you're Exceed, you had a freebie, and he walks in with that fight. Who knows? The rest of that 1v1 goes down. But it's a situation that we'll only be able to ponder on going forward. And so far, it has been pretty much what we expected. A few solid moments from LAG. I'll be honest, man, I feel like we were really picking them apart in this search because it just looks like there were so many winnable situations. Yeah. So many opportunities where rounds were thrown away. We're talking on 2v3s, 2v4s. I mean, Chow's going on both the bottom and the top side of the map. Just not the cleanest S&D, and you can't have that at this stage.
You definitely could not have that, especially the way that they played in map number 1. It was all about the teamwork. Yeah. They threw that out the window when they got to this search and destroy. Everyone was trying to be the individual Superman, just to be that island player, win a huge one-on-one gunfight, and be the deciding factor of the way the round was gonna go. But the Subliners, they weren't really nervous in any situation. No. Even when they're down 2v4, HyDra wins a one-on-one, Skyz win a one-on-one, and at that point it's a 2v2. Skyz and HyDra combine, they go for a double chow, and they make it a 1v2. These are just mistakes right now that Guerrillas are making that are just simply unacceptable, and now they have to try to complete a reverse sweep versus the Subliners to stay alive in the tournament.
I mean, we have seen some wild things so far throughout this tournament. Can LAG really top the other ones with a wild reverse sweep here versus the New York Subliners? You can feel free to place those bets. I won't be doing that so far throughout the weekend, but we'll see if it can be LAG who answers in our Game 3 here on Expo. You will want to stay with us as we have the swing mode up next right after this break.
Call of Duty League is brought to you by Monster Energy, the official energy drink of the CDL. The Call of Duty League is presented by the GMC Hummer EV Pickup, the world's first all-electric super truck. And upgrade your game with the Scuff, the official controller of the CDL.
Howdy, friends, and welcome back to the Toronto Major. Oh, Jay, look at that. Look at that beautiful view. I love it here in Toronto, man. I'm having an absolute blast. You and I, we both love the city, had a great time last year, and, well, I had some Nando's yesterday, having a blast. I still need to have some poutine, though, Jay.
Toronto,
maybe after this series is done.
Toronto is lit, man. Great people, great food, great area, great skyline. There's absolutely nothing I have bad to say about Toronto. It's like me in New York, but probably a little bit better. I don't know if I'm...
Wow.
I like this place, man.
I think I'm hearing... Actually, I thought I heard a few cheers.
Nah, I definitely heard a few cheers.
I was going to say, I don't know. Maybe, I mean, Toronto, I mean, Canada just in general is incredibly nice. So that wouldn't surprise me the littlest bit. But into the series we go, and we're actually in the middle of this bad boy. Currently, it is New York taking on LAG. And I would say for a lot of people checking in, they're probably saying, wait, is Girls pulling off something crazy? We've seen Florida do something wild. We've seen London pull off something crazy. Not so much the case when it comes down to this series, Jay. It has been pretty well controlled all the way through. And I think it's fair to say you and I both feel like this will be the final nail in the coffin. This should be where New York gets it done.
Yeah, Subliners trying to do the same exact thing they did during the Stage 5 qualifiers, and that's beat this team 3-0 on the same exact maps. Did it on the first two, but now we go into the Expo Control. Well, both teams have a 1-1 record. But the difference is, at least for the Subliners, they're able to take a couple attacking rounds. They were able to take 2 last time these 2 squads played. And then the opposite side for the Guerrillas is just a struggle overall in control in the slaying. They are 11th in overall team KD around a 0.8, so you have to be able to outslay Subliners if you want to stand a chance of staying alive.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's, we've casted LAG so much throughout the season when it comes down to controls. Exceed finds a lovely double, but I mean, it feels like we've just continued to say the same thing. Slaying has not been there, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like when these teams did play in Major 5 on this map in a Game 3, it was the ARs who struggled massively. I think Alec only ended up with like 5 kills the entire game.
Oh yeah, Arseny's had like 5 kills and Assault had 4 kills. They both ended with like a 0.3 and a 0.2, so that's not the way you want to come out and play. You just don't want to allow Subliners to get any segments over towards this A point. You know how easy it is to catch a B, where you can set up around that A point for 2 minutes. It's not a difficult hold to set up. As the LAG, that decision has now been made for them. They're going to give up that B point. Subliners going to be able to extend that time, all tied in the lives remaining.
And HyDra trying to help lead the charge. He eventually does fall, so the first really scouting opportunity that you have if you're the Subliners ends up getting dropped. So with that, LAG, very slim margin, but currently up when it comes down to kills, 22-20, as that will begin to fall. And thankfully, if you're an LAG fan, it is currently falling in your direction, despite Arstes, who is yet to get on the board. That is about to change. I would like to imagine currently it is New York in that spawn trap. And really, you'll take this if you're LAG. Just as long as you can keep them back here, the better. But they're breaking out left and right. That's a quick 4 down. NYSL fly right into A.
Yeah, that's 4 dead. Subliners now. They just need 1 segment. The team kill comes in from Exceed. And now it sets up KiSMET and Priestahh to go for that flank. That's another 3 dead. Make it all 4. The Guerrillas are coming off spawn. KiSMET, the Bulldog, is just roaming. That's already 2 segments in. The stack is going to be here. And the Subliners take the first attack.
Oh my word, that just exploded instantly. Priestahh comes through with some free kills. It's KiSMET as well. And HyDra, goodness sake, man.
And that's where it comes back to, like, when the Guerrillas were finding all those kills, they were super aggressive towards Globe. You had a player who was blocking the back left spawns, but when you're that aggressive on the map and none of the gunfights go your way, you're going to spawn all the way in the opposite side. Subliners are able to get a clean 4 dead out of their base. Once you do that, you stack the point, the player times that flank beautifully, which was KiSMET, and then you just play for that next set of kills, and the round is yours. Subliners set that one up perfect, and now the Guerrillas have to respond.
Starting to see a few smirks on the faces of New York. They know that round was huge for them to take. Another attacking round as Arseny's finally able to get on the board after a killless round number 1. And right in the opening attack here for LAG. A decent little start there for New York, but you can tell, Alec finds those few kills. The rest of the team begins to build upon it. They've got some presence over at A at the same time, so that time is without a doubt paused. And right now it is Assault. Mr. Garcia styling in these long-range gunfights.
Oh, those are some big shots, some big beams coming in out of the world champion Assault. And now that B capture's already gone. They already have one segment over towards A. Assault not slowing down. Him and Arcitys combined for another 2. And they might be able to respond with a quicker round than the Subliners. Guerrillas make that one look easy. Take their attack of their own and now tie it up at 1.
Oh, it's about time. LAG, they've shown up and they're awake now. It just took a few maps for them to get to that point, Jay. But how about Assault? Goodness sake, as we said, he and Arcitys really struggled when it came down to their prior Expo Control versus New York. Arcitys starts to get on the board. You see Assault going on a spree. Excellent job from him as he'll be rocking into round number 3 with a 5-kill streak. So 1 away from the cruise, and it feels like the positives continue to build here for LAG. It's a 5 streak for Assault and also a 5 for Arcitys too.
You gotta be feeling good. You gotta be able to earn these cruise misses. So if you are Assault, if you are Arcitys, take your time just to play for 1 kill. That can change the way that this game is going to be played. The Subliners are just going to do the easy work, go over towards B. They only left 1 player on the point, and HyDra goes for the flank. And now it's only on Arcitys. Can he find the kill? Because this cruise missile is so crucial. Skyz knows the positioning, and he shuts him down. No cruises to work with, and now the Subliners are scattered all over the map.
Yeah, I mean, it felt like in that moment, Jay, if you're LAG, they're like, okay, we're going to play for the streaks. We're going to allow for them to have some early moments at B. Both do not go their direction, right? They don't get the time. They don't get the streaks. And now New York are able to pivot into A. That zone's about to be captured right as Arcitys drops. Another minute added onto the clock. And New York, once more, are on the prowl. They're already here at B. The strategy, the call to kick off round 3 is staring them right back in the face. Assault thankfully comes away with 2. Arcitys puts another to bed after what was a terrible way to kick off this round.
But the Subliners now only need 1 segment. You need 1 wave of kills and at least a stack to close out this round. Capturing A is very, very difficult. When you're able to do that and leave B by itself towards 1 segment,
what?
All you need is 1 push, and HyDra starts it off with 2 through secret. Now the Subliners have the numbers. They just have to be able to get on the point.
That's the objective at the end of the day. Just get on the point. Live starting to become a bit of a factor. 14 versus 18 now. So for LAG, you're going to be careful with that. KiSMET not able to find Arcitys as he continues to rock with that fast play style. He's had that Vazdiv in hand throughout a majority of these last few rounds. So with that in mind, HyDra able to put away 2. Some nice tags into Alec. As he and Assault look to hold things down, but that's going to be the first wave cleared. New York now with quite a bit of map positioning inside of the stage.
Now there's only 2 players from LAG who can potentially contest this. Thieves finds the timing through the top hallway. Just being a nuisance behind enemy lines. And now it's time for you to strike because Subliners win a couple gunfights in the back of your base. They're able to stop the clock. Assault takes down HyDra, but now where is Skyz because he's still behind you.
Final minute, Exceed. The stagehand quite literally doing the dirty work. Trying to cut away New York the best way that he can. And right now, LAG starting to slay out. The lives remaining now starting to favor them that much more. They send Thieves forward. A big kill on HyDra coming up, and he's guaranteed it. Excellent job from the rookie as LAG starting to have that pendulum start to favor them a little bit more. It continues to swing in their direction as we've got maybe 1 last good push out of NYSL now.
Now finally the Guerrillas put a lot of pressure up towards Globe. You spawn the Subliners all the way across the map, but you lose those initial 2 gunfights. So what else can Exceed get done from this position? Subliners are able to stop the clock. Only 1 player on the point. They're more focused on these kills. KiSMET off spawn takes down Arcitys. Exceed flies from the top, but he gets gunned by HyDra, and they might have just called game.
Oh my God, it's 2v3. They've got to get to the point. HyDra's here. Can they get there in time? Arcitys is going to have to go for the dolphin dive. Oh, arrives, but a little late. NYSL call a press conference, and LAG do not turn up in time. And with that, NYSL 1 round away from calling series.
And I feel like every single time the Guerrillas were fighting for that map control, they got a clean 3 to 4 dead. But when the Subliners are coming off spawn, since they weren't super aggressive up towards Globe, HyDra was always the entry guy to find at least the 2-piece to make those engagements start to happen. And once he wins that one-on-one versus Exceed in those final moments, it turns onto a one-on-one between HyDra and Arcitys. And with that vast dev in hand, we're going to definitely take HyDra in that situation as the Subliners put themselves at point game. Guerrillas back on the attack, just going to try to extend this clock, go over towards B.
Oh, HyDra, my goodness. Just trying to make a play happen. Ends up dropping, and now a bit of the pressure starts to fall to Priesth's shoulders, and he is definitely able to handle it. Great work early as New York handle business. Only player past really that 50-yard line and really behind enemy lines. It's going to be player number 3 in Arcitys. Hoping to have a few teammates join alongside of him shortly. And it feels like for the Guerrillas, the push is absolutely now going to be inside of B, but they continue to get wiped away.
Yeah, Subliners just scattered all around the map. They also find Arcitys, a player who is playing in the back of their base. They also take down Exceed, so now you get that info. All of the Guerrilla players coming off spawn. We can be aggressive up towards top globe. We just got to block the back left spawn. That's what Skyz is now going to be able to cover. It's going to allow SMGs to roam free and just completely slay out.
Oh, this is bad news right now. If you're Guerrillas, you got to find some kills. You got to find them fast. NYSL have them in the worst of spawn traps. And they've got to do something quick. These kills are going to mean everything, or this could be LAG season done and dusted. Priestahh, knife to the heart. No, not able to find another. Ends his life on a 5 spree. 15 seconds to go as LAG make the mad dash, but KiSMET is there to drop up. 10 seconds left.
And that might be it. New York might have just called game. They're going to be able to send the Guerrillas home. Only 5 seconds left for the 3-0.
It looks like it will be lights out for the final time as New York hand the Guerrillas a dominant 3-0 in what will kick off their lower bracket run.
And that's how you want to respond right there if you are the Subliners. Tough loss yesterday to Ultra. You come in today versus the Guerrillas. You show the teamwork at the highest level. Do it in the map number 1, even though it's close, but in the search and destroy, to clutch up in multiple rounds, 2v4s, 3v2s, it did not matter. Subliners are making the better mid-game adjustments to close out the S&D. And then on that final Expo, Subliners are able to take 2 attacking rounds again and put them completely in the spawn trap in the final to close out this series 3-0. Just like they did throughout stage 5 qualifiers.
What is it, maps now, Jay?
Same exact thing, man.
It's like 12-0 now.
Yeah, we're talking about in the season.
And the year.
Subliners between Guerrillas is now 4-0 and 4-0 in every single map in mode.
Yeah, that is not the way that you want to end out your season if you're LAG. I mean, just to kind of talk about them very quickly, Jay. Yeah. Had some great moments, and it's just unfortunate, right? It's unfortunate to see the way that their season ends up going after all the promise, after all the excitement of LAG Academy forming into this roster. It sucks. It really does to see this team end, I believe, 1-13 in total series, but job done. Confidence, I think, is restored back in the New York camp after that dub.
Oh, yeah. You got to be feeling good. But to talk a little bit more about the Guerrillas, you end the season, what, in the 11th seed?
Yeah.
You look like one of the better Hardpoint teams when this team was first formed. When everyone started to catch back up, you have completely slipped off. Not the season that a couple world champions wanted, but you always have next year to try to bounce back.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I know we talked about this series, how much that New York has to fight for. We've been saying about every single team, whether it's Florida, whether it's London, whether it's even this team, you still have a lot to fight for when it comes down to next season. There are quite a few GMs watching, that is for sure. But now it's time to take a look at our updated bracket. Jay, what are we looking at right now?
Subliners, obviously they get the 3-0, so they're going to be able to play the winner of Legion and Surge, and that's such a big match for that final champ spot. And then I'm still mind blown that the Ravens were able to beat Boston Breach to get their very first LAN win. Shout out to my guy, Yassimi, as the family in the building. You always want to put on a show in front of the fans and the fans.
Yeah, it is absolutely going to be a blast to see how the winners bracket begins to move forward. I know nobody expected. I think it's fair to say Florida, along with Minnesota, toward the top. You have OpTic and Thieves are getting ready to face off against each other, and the lower side of the bracket is about to be a banger. But that's going to do it for myself and Jay as we toss it down to the main stage. It is Mr. KiSMET there for an interview.
All right, thank you very much, Lando. Yes, joining me on stage here, KiSMET. First of all, congratulations on a great series, a bit of a tune-up. Let's dive into the hard point first. It came a little bit closer than some people were expecting. Was there anything that caught you by surprise in that hard point?
Nothing like crazy. I just think like at the end of the day, those guys are still good players. They were just shooting back, and it's something that in Call of Duty that's normal. It happens. I'm just proud of the guys on like showing the resilience whenever they did, you know, a team that we didn't think that be as great, and they just come out and shooting back like we actually, you know, answer, and it's good. So
yeah, well, it's a good test, especially considering you've got a long loser bracket run. Let's talk about yesterday's game though, because obviously we didn't catch up with you then. A loss yesterday. What were the feelings like in the camp after? How have you kind of reset that mindset for today?
Hotel control is a nightmare. No, I'm kidding. We still like the map. But honestly, I mean, the biggest thing was search. We felt that map 2 was really good yesterday. Map 5 was unfortunate. And I was talking to the guys. I was like, bro, I feel so like on a leash right now. Like I want to just like go. Like if I make a wrong play, it happens. It is what it is. But like I just want to chow. And like today, obviously like it's a different team. But like I was just chowing everything I could. Any info I got, I was going. And like I think that was the biggest thing for us today. So.
Okay, I like that. I like that a lot. Let's talk about that then, because you guys have had a little bit of a roller coaster season, right? It's not been the performances you want all the time, but we are now on that last leg. That last chapter is yet to be written. What have you and the team been working on specifically on this final run?
The big thing is just consistency. I think a lot of times people talk about our team, we're like, we don't know what New York we're going to get. If they're going to be this New York, they're great. If they're this New York, we don't know. So our biggest thing is just consistency, and that just all starts with the comms, the game plan, and just trusting everything that we talk about in the back, and when we come out here just doing the same thing. And I think we've bought into it a lot, so that's our biggest thing, just consistency.
All right, I love that. A little bit of consistency on the main stage. All right, thank you. Please, Toronto, give it up for KiSMET of the New York Subliners. Been a wonderful game, and we will see you more in this tournament. We're going to hand it back now over to the desk to break this one down.
Thank you, and those two are looking good down there on the stage. Welcome back, everybody. It's Puckett alongside Alley Cat and Nameless, and we have a very special guest rocking the lens shirt, the one and only Zero. Zero, you got a chance to watch these guys play live. What did you take away from the Subliners' performance?
HyDra still to go.
Still to go. The Frenchman doing work there.
He's just so good.
He is.
You know, him coming in, you know, everyone doubted him like when he first got his spot. You know, DeReal bring him through in challenges in Cold War. Before that, sorry, in MW, and he's just so good.
He's been lights out. And then the tandem, too, of him and KiSMET, when they're both frying, they're almost unstoppable. It was just about icing up in the correct moments. And throughout this series, they did that. And another thing is, like, the control is what we were looking at. He talked about it just now in the interview, how, like, Hotel's been a nightmare. Well, they refused to play Expo. Allie, you remember how frustrating this was? They would never play it. Now they are winning their Expos, which is huge for them as the tournament goes on, especially if they were to make it to a grand final.
Which I also like the fact that they play it on LAN, right? In their first round against LAG, they kind of test their limits here when it comes to putting Expo Control in the series, because yes, they beat them on it before, but to put it and play on LAN sometimes is a very, very different story. Also, once again, bouncing off of what Zero said, I mean, HyDra is just different.
So good.
I mean, I don't think we can like talk about this player enough, because we also forget, I mean, the French phenom, like English not even being his first language, the trials and tribulations of last year as well, being on New York Subliners, bouncing back and proving with his actions that he is a good player and he deserves to have good teammates around him and can win championships. So I think New York Subliners, this is a good confidence boost for them after their loss yesterday, and they could definitely make an elimination bracket round looking like this.
Absolutely. This is a team that is kind of matchup based. KiSMET said they need to work on their consistency though, Nameless.
Yeah, I mean, they really do. I want to ask Trey, like, because I always struggle with this, where do you rank them amongst like the super teams, I guess, like the championship caliber squads?
Yeah.
Of all the teams that have won, and then we can put OpTic in there as well. Where do you have them at?
I genuinely think they are championship caliber. They've won an event this year. The issue is consistency, like KiSMET said there, especially with the, you know, how he said he's been on a leash and stuff like that. I feel like they let HyDra go, but he's still, they're just stopping him from going, because HyDra can do it so well. So as long as they just let him bounce off KiSMET and KiSMET bounce off HyDra, I think they'll be very, very good.
Good point.
Can't have two leashes, maybe one leash, maybe no leashes. We'll find out from the Subliners. One thing is for sure, this is not your last scuff play of the game from HyDra. Let's take a look at this baby one more time as the man dropped numbers across all three game modes, a 1.1 in the hardpoint, a 2.25 in the search, and the guy always behind enemy lines causing problems here, Trey.
I mean, listen, I'm going to stop saying so much about him so no one thinks I'm like really good friends with him and I'm biased. But, I mean, the whole team just works together. You know, they dropped a lot of people in the offseason. I feel like they let HyDra go off and choose what teammates he wanted. And I know he's been friends with Skyz for a while. They played a lot of Valorant in the offseason. And, you know, I feel like they've got really good team chemistry. And it shows a lot in the matches they play. I'm just excited to see him play.
Yeah, HyDra looking like he's having fun as well. When you look at him in the feed, he's always showing up. You're not going to see him smile until he dies, though. He locks in Nameless, and the guy was able to do it. Real quick, as we wrap up this scuff play of the game, we do have to touch on the Guerrillas here, right? We say goodbye to LAG as New York powers forward. The Guerrillas are now out for the season. Allie, what did you take away from the Guerrillas season? Where did it go wrong, and what were the highlights, if any, along the way?
I just think they couldn't put the right pieces together. There was no teamwork, I think, on that team. Obviously, they're all very talented players. I think Joe specifically put himself in a position to get a spot next year. I think he did enough this season, given the situation that he was put in. I think he's absolutely done enough to put his name in that conversation. Even in likes of Exceed and Assault, I think they had their moments as well throughout the entire season. Assault and Control was leading in the KDs at one point. Exceed at moments, you know, in the respawns, like he could take over games. So I think a lot of them have made an argument for themselves. It's just an unfortunate situation where I don't think that team was ever going to work.
Nameless, final thoughts here on LAG before we power forward.
Yeah, man, it's sad to go home. Obviously, pretty predictable going up against New York, but like with LAG and some of these young guys, when you look right and left and you don't have confidence in each other, and like your leader and like world champion teammate isn't big up, and you going out there and giving it his all, then it's obviously going to be very tough to win. So I feel for them, a very tough season, but I do think Joe Thieves has left his mark in this match. I mean, who would have thought him versus HyDra would be toe-to-toe on that map #1? He really was putting on, so I'm excited for his future.
Boston is out, LAG is out, Subliners power forward, and we still have 3 more matches to go today. While we're waiting on the next one, get your bundles right now. If you don't already have the Champs Pack, it is available, up and running live. A bundle fit for a king, complete with the new operator skin, weapon, blueprints, and more. Did someone say M4? Rule the battle. Get your 2023 Call of Duty League Champs Pack, available now with COD points. And of course, keep it rumbling here. Stay with us and party all day long. We've got packs for days with the deep water, drown the competition, with 2 blueprints for close-up fights and distance engagements, in core multiplayer, and an operator skin for Luna. Enough of the plugs. We're going to commercial break. When we come back, it's the battle we've all been waiting for. The Major 4 Finals happening for 9th place. OpTic takes on LA Thieves when we come back.